What's good? What's good? This is Tico. Hey, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Once you're done with this video, share this video and hit the notification bell to get notified. Let's get into it, yo. Boxing is in a good place. Sometimes. There are times where you watch boxing, you're like, oh man, that fight could have happened. It had potential. Y'all remember when there was an opportunity when Anthony Joshua and Wilder were at top of the game, two heavyweights, undefeated. And what happened? We didn't get a chance to see that fight. Never happened. It still ain't happening now. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? And Wilder out there wilding, man. Y'all seen some of these interviews this man is in? Hey, he believes that Tyson Fury cheated. He was wearing something in them gloves because ain't no way that Tyson Fury had knockout power. But who am I to judge? The man said he got proof. We have to find out because the proof is in the pudding. We're about to find out, man. Real soon. He got a documentary coming out. But this is not about Wilder. This is not about the heavyweight division. This is about Ryan Garcia. I have been very hard on this man previously in the past, young man, and because of all the antics, you just never know what kind of Ryan Garcia is going to show up to fight. Well, I think it's Bernard Hopkins that said it. If this kid, this young man was 100% focused, he will be undefeated. But Ryan Garcia's young. He parties. He does the streaming. He's just out there doing what a young man does. Let's be honest. When you were in your 20s, were you really focused? Were you dialed in? Were you motivated? Were you inspired? Were you disciplined? Were you consistent? I know I wasn't. I knew there were times where I was doing some silly things with my money, thinking, hey, I'm gonna re-up next week anyways. So I'll go spend it at the gentleman's club and I make it rain. And at that time, I love Hennessy. And Hennessy did something to me. I felt like I was unstoppable. I felt like I was bulletproof vest, Tico. But I learned from my mistakes. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So as you get older, you get wise and you make different decisions. Now, Ryan Garcia, very young man, millions of dollars, is super famous when it comes to the streaming, to being active on social media. So at times, us, older gentlemen, we look at him and say, only if he would just stay disciplined, he would take his career to levels he probably wouldn't even imagine. But like anything, if you give a young man that kind of money, what you expect? Look at Adrian Broner. He hasn't been the same for quite some times. And rightfully so. He's young. He ain't, you know how many things get thrown at you when you got so much money? And if you're keeping up with the social media and being active with the younger generation, people gonna push you to go do other things that you be like, all right, let's go then. Hey, I'm young. I'll be able to wake up in the morning and train. Now realizing that when you drink, it affects you. When you're not eating well, it affects you. When you're not training, trust me, it will show in the ring. This time he has Barrios in front of him. And I'm watching this guy. I'm like, okay, if this Ryan Garcia stays consistent, he a problem. That left hook from God is gonna wake somebody up from the dead. And he didn't even use the left like that. I mean, he used it, of course. He has some tools under his belt that he got to use. But bro, he hit him with the right in his noggin, and he fell back. And I was like, wait a minute. Are we stepping into the Ryan Garcia era right now at this moment? And a lot of people, a lot of fighters have said, the belts don't mean nothing. Did you see how emotional he was when he won that belt? This is what we mean. When you got that belt, you are working for something. So when a fighter says, I'm only doing it for the money, nah, bro. It's more than just money. Because once you wrap that belt around your waist, you feel like you feel like the man of the year, on top of the world. Because you work so hard for something. That's the whole purpose of boxing, when you are working your way up. And hopefully one day you'll make it. Now, Remember, once you're at the top, that crown is pretty heavy around your head. You got to be making some good decisions. And I think that Ryan Garcia right now, he understands. It should be interesting to see what happens for him. What I like about Ryan Garcia, y'all, and like I said, I have been very critical with the things that he does. But one thing is with this man, this young man, he don't be ducking no smoke. He stepped in there with Devin Haney when nobody else would. Stepped in there with Tank Davis, even though there was hydration or whatever, in the contract that he had to be a certain weight when he stepped in the ring. He's calling out other fighters. Shakur Stevenson, where you at? And that's what boxing's really about. What I really feel right now at this moment, what I think what boxing is missing is people like Ryan Garcia. Those boxers that say, you know what? I don't care if I'm undefeated. I just want to fight the best. And some of these boxers, they're so focused on that zero, holding on real tight, saying, I want to be undefeated, instead of testing their skills. Ryan Garcia got hit with a few punches on that. He took a couple chances, but he really wanted to knock Barrios out. And I know what people are going to say, Barrios, he's okay. Hey, look, it don't matter, bro. He had the belt, so he did something right. He went in there with Manny Pacquiao, even though it was past Manny Pacquiao's prime. But at the end of the day, Barrios, it's a household name with credibility, and that's what matters. And Ryan Garcia right now at the moment, man, he's in a good position right now. If he keeps this right here, if he keeps his mental right, that young man's gonna do some damage. And he's only getting better. Me seeing him, how he was moving on this fight and actually connecting with that right, I was like, okay, if he knows how to, hit with that right and combine with that left hook from God, oh my goodness. What are people gonna say? They can't say he only got a left hook. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm excited, man, to see this young man flourish, and hopefully he's able to control himself. He does the entertainment things on the side, but when he's focused and dialed in, he's a problem. And I seen that way back in the days. It's just that we just never know with Ryan Garcia. He's like a switch. Is he on or is he off? Because when he's off, we be like, what happened? You got beat by Rolly Romero, bro. Yeah, Rolly. But hey, Rolly, hey, come on now. That man, he throws some chingazos too. So, like I said, salute to Ryan Garcia. He's doing his thing. I'm excited for that division. Let's see what happens. And you got to give these fighters their flowers while they're still here. I know a lot of people don't. They criticize them. They put them in a high pedestal and the expectations are really high. Not realizing that these are young men still in their 20s trying to figure out life. Like I said, where were you in your 20s, bro? What were you really doing? Come on now. Quit judging so much, man. But excited to see this boxing movement going. Let's see what happens. I'm excited if we get Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia, a rematch with Devin Haney, maybe even Tank Davis. If he gets, hey, look. I'm not going to jump into that. But y'all do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the love and support. Toda mi gente. I hope you're doing good. Taking care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, wherever you're at in your life. Take care of yourself. Look, check out the website. You see the merch? Cipote Sucio here. R2DREC.com. And always remember, have peace in your heart, have faith, and never give up. All right, one.